right, y'all. Welcome back to Everything in Between. Today we have leading Lux agents. You are a top producer with Lux Properties. You own Launderette Lounge, which is a really fun new spin on a laundromat, right? Basically. I know you're a mama. You've got 3, which is wild. I don't know how to even handle my 1. Wife and multi-business owner. You do pretty much do it all. So I believe you're hugely involved with your family as well, as I think everyone that knows you personally has come to see and appreciate about you. We have Miss Ashley Brosky. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be on this with you. It's a pleasure to sit here and talk to you. We're both women in the industry, leading a business, growing together. Honestly, what can I say? It's not easy, right? But I think that being in this industry gives you what you need to be able to continue moving forward, growing, learning. You adapt, which is probably the biggest thing. People tell me all the time, like, how do you do it?
Yeah.
and you do it. There's just nothing else to it.
I honestly, genuinely, so just a backstory, me and Ashley have known each other for some time. Back in the day when we were just trying to find a place of our own, right? And we organically met you. I'm not even sure how we got.
It's actually really funny how we met.
Yeah, I think you were supposed to show us. Let's go down that. So remind me.
So pretty much what ended up happening was that I met your husband as a Zillow lead. And it's kind of funny, like things, kind of happened, right? Because he came in as a Zillow lead.
Right.
I put a property up for rent. He reached out to me and he was looking for, those specs. And then one thing led to another. I'm like, well, if this one doesn't work out for you, can I help you find something else? And he's like, yeah, of course. So he gave me a shot, which was super cool.
Yeah.
We started checking out properties, right? And I guess one thing led after another. And I'll never forget something that you told me. And we had like our little quick Starbucks
shot. Yeah.
And you were like, oh, he doesn't like anybody, in order for and I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. I'm like, well, I'm not, I don't really know what I did different other than being myself.
Yeah, literally being yourself. We took to you very quickly. And I explained that to you that day when we were meeting, and us meeting was because usually I didn't meet people that were involved with the business because he used to be into flips and stuff like that. I wasn't really heavily involved back then, but we were looking for our personal home, right? At the time, we thought we were trying to buy. You were amazing. You showed us so much. We learned so much through you, and it was really nice because he did immediately like you. He's like, she's fantastic. Wait till you meet her. And then when I met you, I felt the same thing, just super warm, so helpful, so genuine. And it felt really comfortable. It felt safe, right? I think, which is super important in this. And we didn't end up buying a property then. We ended up renting, and we ended up renting a property that Jose just found. And while I'm sure some agents would have been like, damn, I spent a lot of time with you. I feel like you didn't even bat an eye. You didn't make us feel, you're like, whenever you need me, I completely understand. I'm here for you. And then we started to reconnect on a business level when we wanted to start investing into properties, right? Immediately it was like Ashley, right? So that's where that journey started. And you came into the picture, and I'm trying to think, was it the 2 homes that we just bought, the long-term property rentals is what we ended up buying, or did we buy one beforehand when he was dealing with his brother?
No, so it was 2 properties that we bought together in Miami and Broward County.
Okay.
So and that's kind of like how everything ended up continuing, evolving, continuing to get to know each other, work together, where then ultimately I can definitely say that you guys have become friends.
Yeah.
Almost family.
We caught this woman. It does not matter the hour of day. It does not matter what she's dealing with. Answers immediately or responds immediately. And we, her kids, around, sounding beautiful and happy in the background, no matter what, she spends the time and she gives everyone undivided attention, which I know that people that are driven and, they do that, but to be able to do it at the level that you do it, because I know that we're not your only client, right? The level that you do it and the other things that you have going on as far as being a mother, a wife, having a family business, I think it's incredible. I'm so fascinated by it. Me and Jose look at each other at least 3 times a week and we're like, how does she do this? As we're starting to navigate Homestretch, right? By the way, you all know Homestretch. This episode is sponsored by Homestretch. While we're starting to build our family and our business, you are honestly, we look up to you like tremendously. So talk to me about that, like how you got into real estate and how it rolled into like your family being involved in real estate, because it's a family affair. Like you're all in it. I think I've seen houses with like your mom, your father-in-law, your husband. So tell me a little bit about that.
So I kind of fell into this business by mistake, right? Because I didn't.
A lot.
It already was by mistake. I definitely didn't think I was going to start doing real estate. It was more, I have my master's in HR. I was a human resource director. That's like my background. That's what I did.
Okay.
Managing people, working with people. I think though that background is what really has helped me now with people, because people tell me like, how do you, and even my husband's like, I don't know how you do it. You have so much patience.
Yeah.
I think that's what helped me,
Right.
like where I'm at now. So pretty much my mother-in-law comes to me one day, like I graduated with my master's, and she goes, you should get your real estate license. I'm like, what?
Like
That's definitely not going to happen. Like, what am I going to do with that? She goes, no, you guys are looking for a house now. You should get your real estate license. Like, you like that kind of stuff. Like you like houses, you like design, like you're good at it.
Okay.
And I'm like, I put it off for a really long time. She's like, I'll pay for it. I'm like, oh, okay. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I went ahead. She paid for it. I waited till the very last minute to be able to take my test.
Okay.
I look back now and I'm like, man, I should have done it so much sooner.
I
But
mean-
it is what it is. Took the test, got into it. I was working still as a human resource director for like 2 years.
Wow.
Before I left and did real estate.
Okay.
I was very fortunate that I'm a people person, and definitely between my husband and I, I'm more of the extrovert than him, right?
Really?
You would never think.
No. Nah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I'm definitely more of the extrovert. Like I'm the one you take me to a party and I'm like, let's go out and dance. Like I'm the one on the dance floor.
Yeah, we gotta do more of that. But continue.
Exactly. So then pretty much I was doing both at the same time. My husband's job at that time also was very flexible.
Okay.
Because people were like, but how did you do it? I was building a brand new building where I was working, and obviously I couldn't leave all the time.
Oh.
So he also got his real estate license. So we were tag teaming the situation. So, oh, you got an appraisal, you got an inspection. Can you go? No. Can you? Great. Yes. It was just like one of those things.
Yeah. While he was still working.
While he was still working, he used to work in aviation, and I was working in human resource. It eventually got to a point where like I was so busy, so grateful for like the partners and people that I had met that trusted me, that kept the referral that was coming in. And I said, you know what? I have to pick, because I'm doing this job full time. I'm doing this job full time, but I also want to be a present mom. And at that time I had my first daughter.
Yeah.
And that was really, really big for me. And immediately after I got pregnant with Abigail, which, it was like back-to-back pregnancies. And so I told myself, I really need to pick what I'm going to do here. It's either one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I found in real estate was that I had a little bit more flexibility, and I'm sure you've heard this. People say, oh, you left your 9 to 5, but in real estate, you're on like 24/7.
Yeah.
Yes. But my 24/7 is around my time and when I can.
Yep.
And at the same time, it gives me flexibility. If I want to pick up my girls and I want to take them to horse riding, like I can do that, and I plan my showing for after.
Do they actually do horse riding?
They actually do.
Like,
I take
incredible.
I take them every Wednesday.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have horse riding. They have their homeschool pod. I homeschool the girls. I don't know if you know
I
that.
actually didn't know that.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, homeschool the girls. And I have a whole schedule for that and how I navigate it.
Yeah.
But I think now that they're little and that I can do it, and again, because my husband works with me, like where I have like the first block of my 2-3 hours of the day, I'll like do not disturb. That's when I'm sitting with them and we're doing school. And then my husband is out and he's already answering the calls for this. He's answering the calls for that. It helps alleviate it. And I'm able to do that with them. So it's been really nice. And then of course we took on the laundry.
Yeah. So that's another that I'm super excited to talk about. So on top of that, so he eventually left aviation as well, correct?
So he ended exactly. And I guess everything happens for a reason, because I said I was about to leave and I hadn't left, and he had worked at this company for 12 years.
Wow.
One thing led to another, and he went to work like any other day, and when he got there, they shut down.
No way.
It was like one day to the next.
That's literally God.
And
going this.
And my real estate business was what helped us.
Stay.
Because imagine, like, he was really the bread maker at that moment, you know, like he made, you know, between both of us. And all of a sudden it was gone, you know?
Wow.
But I was really working into my real estate stuff.
Transitioning anyway.
And just naturally, I guess, because I've always been more of the extrovert and I've had like a more bigger sphere of people, I've always been the one to have more referrals, more partners, more clients and things like that. And he's always like helped me with all of them.
To maintain it, yeah.
But that's what kind of like maintained it.
Okay.
Exactly.
Amazing. So then, how old is your eldest?
She will be six now now actually.
And then Abigail
Will be 5.
5. And then
Ethan, he will be 2.
2. Oof. Okay. And then you homeschool, obviously the ones that are old enough to be homeschooled, or does Ethan also just like sit in and learn while
He partakes when he wants.
Okay.
Like every so often.
At 2. So then in cues the Laundroette Lounge, which also love the idea, as you all have heard on many of our podcasts. Me and Jose have dabbled. And we've always been fascinated with the Laundry Lounge. And we've talked to you in extent about this as well. And it's something that I think a lot of people want to get into. They don't know a lot about it.
Yeah.
Or they get into it and it's not successful, right? And it's hard. It's tricky buying into it, at least in our experience, is difficult following the paper, right? How do we know that it's lucrative? We're buying the business. And what we've learned from you is you're not buying the business. You need to buy the bones and then make it a business, right? Buy the infrastructure that can be a laundromat or a laundry lounge and then turn it into something amazing, which is what you've done. So talk to us about the Launderette Lounge and exactly what the concept is, and go from there.
Okay. So the laundromat was also one of those things where my husband one day tells me, hey, we should get a laundromat. And this was a few years ago. I'm like, again, me like, what do you mean? Like, I'm in real estate now, you know? Yeah. And he's like, yeah, we should get a laundromat. And I'm like, okay, put it in the back of my head. One day I'm like watching TV and all of a sudden the laundromat just pops into my head and I say, you know what? We're going to get a laundromat. And I turned to him, I kid you not. And I said, hey, babe, this year we're getting a laundromat. And he goes, yeah, okay. I promise you. That was like February and we purchased the laundromat. We closed on it June 27th. Wow. Like that. And he, you know, and I'm just kind of like that whenever I want to do something, like we're going to get it done.
Yeah.
So we purchased a laundromat. However, I will tell you prior to that, and that was kind of like, I have had a lot of learning because not a lot of people talk about the laundromat or like how to get into it. And if they do, they don't want to disclose that information, right? Because they want to get it themselves and because the business can be very lucrative. And so I was under contract for another one previously. And what ended up happening was that on paper, you know, initially what he presented to us seemed great. And when it came down to, you know, show me this, show me that, it was a disaster. And I just didn't feel comfortable going into it. And so sadly enough, I said, you know what? It's not for us. I canceled it. But that same day when we canceled,
no way,
I promise you, I tell my husband, I go, you know what? What's going to be for us will happen and it's just going to happen. I've been so after it, like looking.
Yeah.
And I ended up coming across that night. I'm like scrolling, navigating the web, whatever, this and that. And this is not common, but it came up on Facebook Marketplace.
Really?
It was very random.
Wow.
But you know, the price, what they were offering. And I'm like, this has to be a scam. Like it really has to be a scam. And I'm like, let me message them anyways. So then the guy answers me and he tells me, no, you can come by tomorrow. And everything was so seamless. We got under contract in 3 days. He provided everything to me. And so I learned that if you have your business together, like you should, there's nothing you should hide. And he sent me everything right away. And everything was like
as it should
be. And so we went under contract and 3 weeks later or so, we closed. Laundromats are heavy on cash, as most of them are, and some of them are transitioning to a card system, which is what we ended up doing.
Okay.
And I highly advise for anybody who's looking into purchasing a laundromat to do that. If you do purchase one that is cash, now you can either purchase one that's cash, and let's say if the owner cannot provide you all of that information because naturally they might not be putting it in the bank or wherever they're putting it, then you want to make sure that your purchase price makes sense and the equipment that they're offering makes sense. I also advise for you to pass by, hang out there for some time, kind of like check out the movement, like
Really
what's
see.
going on. If they're claiming that they have a lot of wash and fold business, you want to check out the wash and fold business that's actually coming in
Okay.
and verify it. Because if not, then again, your purchase price has to make sense, because that business that you don't initially have, you're going to have to be able to get it to come in,
Right.
which can definitely be done. And I think I've gone to like every laundromat that I've
say
seen. In Miami, I see a laundromat. I'm like, wait, I haven't stopped there. Let me go in, right? And a lot of those
Research, yeah.
a lot of laundries, and what I learned was, and before I got into this business, was a laundromat is something that people think of like they're kind of gross. Like, what do you mean I'm going to go to a laundromat and take my clothes to? But we wanted to reinvent the wheel. We wanted something to be different. We wanted it to be more of like an experience where, like, if I'm a mom and my washer and dryer breaks down, where am I going to wash my clothes? I want to go to this laundromat where I feel comfortable. I can take my kids in with me. I feel safe at the same time. And so that was like the purpose and what we decided to do. We decided to clean slate, get brand new machines. We retooled the entire laundromat, did a card system so that I can track money, because everything was coin.
Yeah.
And coins tend to disappear.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we did that. It was like the best decision we ever did.
Okay.
And then I started just paying attention to the clients and the service that we were providing to them. I promise you, if you walk into our laundromat and you see any of like, we have repeat clients, like they come in and they're there every week. Like, this is their second home.
Like to be there.
They like to be there. Like, they don't have a lunch. They can't do it at their home. And
Yeah.
this is where they come, and they will tell you how they have seen the difference. Most recently, though, we've been building a lot of the wash and fold business. And what I have learned is that, like me, I'm a mom of 3. I'm very, very busy. I have multiple businesses going on. And the last thing I want to do is my laundry.
The bane of my existence. And it never ends. It's a constant rotation of like one's on the counter being folded, and then when that one's gone, another thing is on the counter being folded, and then back at it again. And
Exactly.
that's
So
insane.
we have a lot of moms that come in, they bring in their laundry. We do all of the wash and fold for them. And it's just easy. You know, they can enjoy their Saturday, the only day off that maybe they have with their family,
Yeah.
to go hang out. We process everything. We notify them. They come and they pick it up, and it's just seamless.
And because me and Jose have talked to you about this as well. And once we're getting settled into like our new house, we're absolutely doing it, because I thought it was much more to do something like that. Like, I thought it would be so expensive. I'm like, that's for people that have like butlers and like, and it's not the case. Like, it's super affordable.
Exactly. So particularly our laundromat, we charge $1.35 a pound, right? There is a minimum of 13 pounds, right? But it is, I mean, it's very minimal. You know what I mean?
Bill, it's like $20.
Exactly. And you spend that easily on 2 cups of coffee at Starbucks. So, sometimes what I have learned is that my time is so precious. And so even if it's just giving out a little bit, I gain my time back so much more. And that's kind of like where everything came in with the laundromat and wanting to create an experience. And when I do something, I do it with intention, and I want it to be done well. So whether it's my real estate business, whether it's the laundromat, whether it's the Airbnb. I have an Airbnb in Orlando, which I
I know if you didn't know that either.
we have an Airbnb in Orlando also, and I manage it, and I manage one of my other clients' Airbnbs also.
Wow.
So I do that also, and I just make sure I want things to be done the way that I would like done for myself. I definitely, it's like my pet peeve, and my husband knows it. Like, if he does something, I'm like, you missed that. There's a hole right there. Do you see that? Thanks. He's like, but it's just how I am.
That's how it should be. I mean, not everyone is like that. You're just high level to like the 100th power. You named. I already was like, she's superwoman. I say it all the time, and I didn't know about half the things that I didn't know you homeschooled. I didn't know you had the Airbnb. I didn't know that you manage properties. Like, it's insane. It's incredible. But yeah, I feel like you took that Laundrette Lounge, the idea of people being comfortable and stuff like that, to another level. So you remodeled the entire space as well.
Correct. And because we didn't shut down, I didn't want to shut down, mean that we're like the only laundromat in that specific radius.
Right.
It would be a huge disservice to the community.
Right.
So since we purchased, right, we're still undergoing remodeling, but now what's missing is we're getting the floors done. And we're gonna do the front desk space, and we're gonna do like a sit-down bar area. And I want to like revamp a little bit the backyard. We have like a little patio. So I
right.
put like a
That's
nice
like
like
so
sit
cool.
down and area. So I want to just make it a little more cutesy.
And there's like is there a cafe or food trucks or something that you guys mentioned or wanted to pull in?
So I would love to, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. So what I'm trying to incorporate due to space limitation, right, is when we go to do the front desk, which I showed Jose and he loved it. I want to include like a little space there for like coffee, kind of like, I mean, we have so many people that come in and like coffee is kind of, it's like a warm feeling. Like, oh, you want a cup of coffee?
Good.
Yes, coffee with like,
And then they sit and have their coffee on the little terrace.
exactly.
And it's beautiful in there too. Like we're gonna try to put pictures up so that people can see, and obviously tag you. But yeah, it's been incredible. So tying into all of the many, many, many things that you do, do you feel like you ever get overwhelmed? Like, do you feel like there's times where or do you just function like this all the time?
That's just,
You just like,
it's a funny question. What can I say? Sometimes I do say like, okay, I need a moment, you know, because my phone is always ringing. It's always a text, a call, an email, and a bunch of different things. And so I have learned, it was a little hard for me at first because I'm so type A. I have to be very like on top of my stuff, but especially now and with the kids, I have learned like, okay, if it's after a certain time or I need to like allocate, make sure like, okay, this is my family time. I need to like kind of detach for a little bit, and create a little bit of space because I think naturally like everybody needs it, you know?
but so you need it because I feel like I don't see you stop. Like, I feel like everyone.
Well, I don't know. I mean, what I ended up doing recently to kind of help me with like offload all of the work that is coming into play with all the things we have happening is I did hire an assistant.
Okay.
So that just started. I had a virtual assistant, didn't really work very well.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was that. But then I started up with an assistant here in Miami, and she's been very helpful because. Like for example, I'm sitting here right now and guess what? We have to do anniversary cards because it's that time of the month for home anniversaries. And I'm like, hey, and I mean, she's on it. I don't even have to tell her. After here, I got a couple showings I have to go do. Hey, she's already texting them. Hey, confirming, you know, we have our showing for today. And
amazing.
So those are things that normally I would do and they're so minute in the bigger picture, but it helps a lot. So
if you're comfortable disclosing, how much does the assistant cost? Is it quite a bit more than the virtual? Like, what's the?
All right. I would say yes. What I was paying my virtual assistant was, and she was not from here. She was from a different country.
Yeah.
I was paying her $450 a month.
Okay.
Which for them that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
what I'm doing now and the way I've structured it, so in the event there's another agent or somebody looking at this and they want to know like how can they do this, is I ended up offering her to pay her $300 per transaction. Like if she was a transaction coordinator, which I do have that as well, who helps me with active contracts. Right. So basically for every transaction that we have going on, whether it's a buyer or a seller, she gets paid when we close. So it is also commission based, right? $300. But then separate to that, because there could be tasks that I need to get done, like home anniversary cards that is not tied to a transaction,
right?
And I pay her just like the first of the month, a flat fee of $250, just to like send out the mailers. You know, I don't know, help me run a random like an errand that I need to get done.
She gets like a consistent base, but has the opportunity to make. And the way that you do transactions and she's helping with transactions, I'm sure she's doing fine. They're so
and again, it's things where like I said, you know what, it's not hard. It's just things that it's the time that's allocated. And I'll give you a perfect example. I had a transaction. We just went under contract. I've had the listing for like 7 months. that's a other story. It's a condo, you know, it's a totally different market that we're going through.
Right.
We started high also. We ended up, you know, coming to where we needed to get to.
Right.
But then out of nowhere, and you would think in this entire time, it would have been disclosed to us that the association has a lien, right? And they'd never said anything to us. And funny, I call up the HOA manager. I'm like, hey, is this true? He's like, oh yeah. I'm like,
And now.
so when were you going to tell me? Point in case is that then I needed to file a partial release with the county, which takes up to 30 days. But just a task of on a random, that was like a Tuesday, it came up. And I'm like, I have 5 things going on. To fill out the form, get the money order, take it to the county.
Like, it has to be done.
And it has to get done. It has to get done now because every day counts. I'm like, hey, assistant.
Which a virtual assistant would not have been.
She would not be. And exactly. So I said, hey, assistant, you see this? Yes, I see it. I'm on it already. She was on it already.
Amazing.
She was filling out the document, sent it to me. Does it look good? Yes, approved. Went to Publix, got the money order, went to the city, and it was done. Something that, like that, it would have weighed a little heavy on me.
Yeah.
So I do think it's important, especially when you have a lot of stuff going on, to eventually get somebody to help you because there's so many hours in the day and it's not enough.
Yeah. It's I think we're actually in the same growing pains right now of bringing on, who do we bring on, like where is it going to justify, you know, and help the business the most so that we can do what we do best, right? Which is like closing the deals, the business development, etc. I always say this, I wish we had more time, but it's no we have a couple minutes, but yeah, it does. And with people like you specifically, because you have so many things going on and it's incredible. And what I love about you too is like you don't ever gatekeep. Any questions we've ever had in regards to business, or not even just us, that we have like a close relationship, just the way that you've been speaking to people, you're not trying to, everyone can win, right?
Exactly.
I feel like, and I think that you are so confident in what you do and in your space that even if there's someone else there, at least from what I've seen, I haven't seen someone do it better. So congratulations, like on everything that you've accomplished. We appreciate you. I can't say it enough. I think so much of you and everything that you have accomplished and everything that you do and represent. And I hope that we can continue, obviously, the business relationship, but get closer because, you know, we love you. And, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's nice too. No, and honestly, it's been great. It's interesting how we met, but yeah, I was telling my husband that the other day. I'm like, it's so funny, like how you meet people and
they just stick around. You're a huge part of our business and our personal life. Like we, even buying our business, we called Ashley. And we're like, this is what we're thinking about doing. Like, what are your thoughts? And we value your opinion so much. And anyone you've ever referred us to, gold. Like, do we need someone for this specific thing? Call Ashley. She knows someone. And whoever she recommends, that's who we're using. It's not like, oh, let's just ask around. So just incredible. If you, we're going to tie links to actually just go ahead and tell the camera, Instagram for you personally, for your Laundromat Lounge, where they can find you, etc.
Definitely. So if you want to follow me on social media, my real estate business, you can follow me at Ashley Brosky. And then the Launderette Lounge is literally the Launderette Lounge. And I'd love to, you know, if you have any questions, if there's anything you want to ask me, I'm here to help. I was once in your shoes where I didn't know what I was doing. I've kind of had to do trial and error, and I know what that's like. So if there's anything that I can help you with, I'd love to do that.
Thank you so much. And we'll see you on the next one.